Hey guys, Tim here. Gonna do a review of the ASUS P8Z77-M Pro. It's a micro ATX motherboard from ASUS, and we'll jump right in here. So you have two 16x PCIe slots, an 8x PCIe slot, even though it's a by 16, but it's only wired for 8, and a 1x. Around the outside we have your SPDIF, your AAFP, we have an EPU and a TPU, your power LED light. There are 3 USB 2 ports. Around the outside, all the way around, there's 4 fan headers. There's one here, which is the one I'm not necessarily thrilled about. There is your CPU fan header here, and there's one last fan header here. You have your standard front panel connections there. There are 4 SATA 2 3 gigabit per second ports and 2 SATA 6 or SATA 3 6 gigabit per second ports. 1 USB 3.0 port, your 24 pin power. You have an actual COM port. That's really cool. If you do any kind of debugging or anything of the OS, it's always handy to have a COM port. You have your 8-pin power, which is, I wouldn't say unheard of in one of these boards, but a lot of them just have 4-pin power. This board actually is a board that's able to overclock. It is PCIe 3.0. It is LGA 1155, and nice VRM heat sinks. Your Z77 chip heatsink down here on the and of course the CPU socket. It can hold 4 DIMMs, up to 32 gigabytes as of the filming of this video. For your back I/O, you have a PS2 combo PS2 port, 2 USB 2 ports, 2 USB 3 ports, and your 2 eSATA ports, which is where the remaining 2 channels from your chipset went for the SATA. You have an optical out, an HDMI out, your regular display, DVI. I believe it's a Realtek. I would have to go look. You guys can correct me in the video if I'm wrong here. It's either an Intel or a Realtek LAN. 2 more USB 3.0 ports. Your audio. And that's about it. So I will say this board actually does extremely well for overclocking. I'll publish some of those numbers. I'm going to do a little bit of different thermal paste testing. So I'm going to use this board in the Sugo SG09 case build that's coming up probably right after this video. So if you have any questions, you want to know, a little more detail what I think of this board. Personally, it's my favorite M ATX board on the market right now. I also have a Gigabyte board that's not bad, but you can't overclock, and in a small form factor you're not going to overclock a ton, but if you buy a 3570K, I want to be able to get that up to at least 4.2 to 4.4. This board lets you do that pretty easily. So this is Tim for Timmy Tech TV. Please subscribe, and we'll see you next time.